Aye.
Madam Chair, you shall begin.
Is there any further business?
Madam President,
Lindsay.
I move to take from the table the motion that was previously laid on the table that our chapter sponsor a safety poster contest for 6th graders.
Second. Is it moved and seconded that we take from the table the motion that was previously laid on the table that our chapter sponsor a safety poster contest for 6th graders? We shall not proceed to vote. All those in favor of taking the motion from the table say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
The noes have it. The motion is not adopted, and we shall not take the motion from the table. Is there any further business?
Madam President,
Michaela.
I move that our chapter build a storage shed.
Subject
to the consideration of the question.
Objection to the consideration of the question has been called. We shall not proceed to vote. Shall we consider the question? All those in favor of considering the question, rise. Be seated. All those opposed, rise. Be seated. There is 4 to the affirmative, 1 to the negative, when we shall consider the question. We shall now go back to debate on the main motion that our chapter build a storage shed. Is there any debate?
Madam President,
Michaela.
I'm strongly in favor of this motion due to the fact that we have a lot of extra stuff laying around our chapter meeting room, and it's just getting too crowded. So I believe if we build ourselves a storage shed, we can store our stuff without having the crowded atmosphere. Therefore, I urge the Assembly to vote for this motion.
Madam President,
Cora.
I'm in opposition to this main motion. We have not discussed the slightest how much money it would cost to build a shed, where we would actually be able to build a shed that would be able to get to the supplies quickly, and there are a lot of things that we don't know and I doubt are going to be able to work out. Therefore, I'm against this motion.
Madam President,
Sadie.
I agree with the previous speaker. We don't know how much money it's going to cost. Also, we have a shed that the school has provided us. We just don't use it. I believe that we could just use the old one to put our stuff in. So therefore, I urge the Assembly to vote down this motion.
Madam President,
Emma.
I move to amend the main motion by striking storage shed and inserting greenhouse.
Second.
It is moved and seconded to amend the main motion by striking storage shed and inserting greenhouse. Is there any debate?
Madam President,
Emma.
I rise to speak in favor of this amendment. Building a greenhouse would be a great idea. Even though we already have a greenhouse, our greenhouse is very crowded, and we could use the greenhouse for the same purpose as a storage shed, but it would also double for the horticulture classes. It would be a great opportunity for our chapter. So therefore, I urge the Assembly to vote for this motion.
Madam President,
Lindsay.
I disagree with the previous speaker. We do not have the funds to build a greenhouse. It's quite costly, and we already have a greenhouse, so I believe a second one is not needed. Therefore, I just vote down this amendment.
Madam President,
Cora.
I agree with the previous speaker. It is illogical for us to make another greenhouse when we already have one, on top of the cost and the fact that the greenhouse we have right now doesn't get used all that much. Therefore, I'm against this amendment.
Madam President,
Emma.
after hearing the previous 2 speakers, I ask permission to withdraw my motion.
Are there any objections from the Assembly? Hearing none, motion is withdrawn. We shall now go back to debate on the main motion that our chapter build a storage shed. Is there any further debate?
Madam President,
Lindsay.
I'm highly in favor of this motion. We just started this year a small gas engines class for our egg program, and there's a lot of motors and parts that need to be stored in different spots, and I believe this new storage shed would be a good place for it. Therefore, I just vote in favor of this motion.
Madam President,
Michaela.
I'm still strongly in favor of this motion. I know that we do have a lot of extra money laying around due to the fact that fruit sales is coming up soon, so I believe that if we spend this money on a storage shed, we can make our rooms less crowded and have a better learning environment for our students. Therefore, I urge the Assembly to vote for this motion.
Madam President,
Cora.
I am still strongly opposed to this motion because we also have to look at for things like the gas engines. The shed is probably going to have to be insulated to some degree. There's going to have to be a lot of more money put into making sure that everything in the storage shed stays safe. And I don't think that even with the fruit sales money, we will have enough to be able to build a shed. Therefore, I'm still against this motion.
Madam President,
Emma.
I agree with the previous speaker. There are still a lot of unanswered questions, so therefore I move to postpone this motion to our next meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to postpone this motion to our next meeting. Is there any debate?
Madam President,
Emma.
As many speakers have pointed out, there are a lot of unanswered questions about this motion, such as how much it's going to cost, what we will actually be storing in the shed, and where we will be actually building the shed. So I believe that by postponing it to our next meeting, we can discuss it with the members and get a more accurate idea of what is really going on. So therefore, I urge the Assembly to vote for this postponement.
Madam President,
Sadie.
I disagree with the previous speaker. I don't believe that postponing this to our next meeting is going to make any of a difference. This is still a really bad idea. We still need to figure out the costs. And it's just going to be too expensive. So I believe that we should not waste our time at the next meeting. So therefore, I urge the Assembly to vote down this motion.
Madam President,
Lindsay.
I'm against this postpone. We can take care of this motion right here, right now, at the meeting. Members, vote down this postpone.
Madam President,
Michaela.
I agree with the previous speakers. This motion needs to be taken care of now. If we want to get this plan in place, then it needs to be taken care of today. Therefore, I urge the Assembly to vote down this postpone.
Madam President,
Cora.
I have a previous question.
Second.
Previous question has been called. We should now go straight to the vote. All those in favor of previous question, rise. Be seated. All those opposed, rise. Be seated. There was 5 to the affirmative, 0 to the negative. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted, and the previous question is moved. We shall now go straight to the vote on the motion to postpone the main motion to our next meeting. All those in favor of postponing this motion to our next meeting, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no.
No.
The noes have it. The motion is now adopted. We shall not postpone this motion to our next meeting. We shall now go back to debate on the main motion that a chapter build a storage shed. Is there any further debate?
Madam President,
Cora.
Since winter is coming soon, if we are going to build a shed, I move to amend the main motion by adding this month of, or in the month of October to the end.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to amend the main motion by adding in the month of October to the end. Is there any debate?
Madam President,
Cora.
Since it is starting to get colder and colder outside, we need to build a shed now so that we'll have it for the winter time. We can't be building it when there's 3 feet of snow outside. Therefore, I am in favor of this amendment.
Madam President,
Emma.
I rise to speak against this amendment. While it would be nice to have the shed in time for winter, if we choose to build the shed in October, we will not have the money together, and the builders will not have enough time to build this shed. There's just simply not enough time for us to get this all together and done in October. So therefore, I urge the Assembly to vote against this amendment.
Madam President,
Michaela.
I'm in favor of this motion. I would like to see this shed built as soon as possible. Like some other previous speakers spoke about, we have a crowded room, and that shed needs to be built as fast as possible. Therefore, I urge the Assembly to vote for this amendment.
Is there any further debate? Hearing none, we shall proceed to vote. All those in favor of amending the main motion by adding in the month of October to the end, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no.
No.
The ayes have it. The motion is adopted, and we shall amend the motion by adding in the month of October to the end. We shall now go back to debate on the newly amended main motion that our chapter build a storage shed in the month of October. Is there any further debate?
Madam President,
Sadie.
Seeing as our Assembly is still divided on this question, I move to refer this motion to the Executive Committee with full powers to act, have the report back to us at the next meeting.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to refer this motion to the Executive Committee with full powers to act, having them report back to us at our next meeting. Is there any debate?
Madam President,
Sadie.
Seeing as now we are building our shed in October, the Executive Committee will be able to line up the builders and get the costs ready and talk to our members about what exactly we will need in the shed. So therefore, I urge the Assembly to vote for this motion.
Madam President,
Emma.
It is already, or I rise to speak against this refer. It's already September 21st. We do not have enough time to refer this to the Executive Committee and for them to get back to us in time to build the shed in October. There's not enough time, and so I urge the Assembly to vote against this refer.
Madam President,
Lindsay.
I am against this refer. We need to take care of this motion at this meeting. And the Executive Committee is very busy with National Convention and just a whole bunch of other activities. Therefore, I urge somebody to vote down this motion.
Is there any further debate? Are you ready for the question? We shall now proceed to vote. All those in favor of referring this motion to the Executive Committee with full powers to act and have them report back to us at our next meeting, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no.
No.
The noes have it. The motion is not adopted. We shall not refer this motion to the Executive Committee. We shall now go back to debate on the main motion that our chapter build the storage shed in the month of October. Is there any further debate?
Madam President,
Michaela.
I move to extend limits to debate to 2 more speeches per person, so that we would have a total of 4 speeches per person.
Second.
It is moved and seconded to extend the limits of debate to 2 more speeches per person for a total of 4 speeches per person. Are there any amendments? Hearing none, we shall proceed to vote. All those in favor of extending debate 2 more speeches per person for a total of 4 speeches per person, rise. Be seated. All those opposed, rise. Be seated. There is 5 to the affirmative, 0 to the negative. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted, and we shall extend the limits of debate to 2 more speeches per person for a total of 4 speeches. Shall now go back to debate on the main motion that our chapter build a storage shed in the month of October. Is there any further debate?
Madam President,
Lindsay,
I rise to a question of privilege affecting the Assembly.
state your question.
May we turn up the heat? It's awfully cold in here.
We may not. It will disrupt our meeting. Is there any further debate on the motion that our chapter build a storage shed in the month of October? Are you ready for the question? We shall now proceed to vote. All those in favor of our chapter building a storage shed in the month of October, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no.
No.
The noes have it. The motion is not adopted. We shall not build a storage shed in the month of October. Are there any further business? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned.